Hi there, we're here with Wolfmother at Kesselhaus in Munich, which is beautiful, nice little venue. And so happy to have you here. Hi.
Our pleasure, thanks for having us on your show.
Like, first thing I want to ask is like a personal thing. I'd love to go to Australia. I've never been to Australia. Have you got any personal best places to watch?
To go?
To go, yeah.
Well, if you go to Sydney, if you went to Sydney, I'd go straight to the Opera House.
Yeah?
Straight to the Opera House on the harbour. It's because it's a spectacular place, you know, big stairs, huge harbour, blue kind of, you know, on a nice day, lots of boats out in the harbour. Have a, you know, little coffee overlooking, you know, restaurants and stuff, and then from there I'd probably go to Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach is really nice. Surrey Hills, there's lots, you know, like indie kind of cafes and fashion shops, and Paddington, lots of little pubs and stuff, like kind of on the corner of every little street. But that's what if I was going to Sydney. But personally, I think Sydney is like the best city in Australia. You know, I lived there for 8 years, and I think it's one of the best cities in the world.
Yeah.
I think it's really...
Everyone says so, so yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen pictures and it's like spectacular. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's a great place, really. I mean, if you like kind of little hills and winding streets and harbours and beaches, and the harbour bridge is pretty spectacular, but yeah, it's an awesome place. It's great.
Back to business, yay. Talking about your music, and I'm going to put this paper away because it's like fucking strange. So, 2005, your album came out, and it went straight to #3 in Australia and #2 in the US, 25 in the UK. What was that moment like when someone told you that you've just, like, wow, you've peaked so good in charts?
I didn't even know it was out. I didn't even... Because, like, I was doing all these gigs around Australia, and I remember sitting down at this place in Sydney. It was in the Northern Beaches. It was like some little club, tiny little club. And my manager was like, just for the record, just so you know, your record's #3 on the charts today. And I was like, I'd never looked at the charts. I didn't know. I mean, I used to watch like some TV shows and stuff when I was a kid, like video hits and things like that. But yeah, I wasn't. It was. I was oblivious to it, but it's only over time when you look back at the stats and they're like, yeah, not many Australian bands ever get in the top 20 in the US, or not ever get. Or rock bands get in the top 10 or whatever, and this, that, the other, like, you start to find out that that you were doing well. But in the early days, like, I didn't even know if we were doing well. Like, you know, I talked to the head of our record label, like, before we put out the first record, we had this EP that we recorded ourselves, and I said, I was like, man, like, is our EP doing all right? And he goes, you've sold 20,000 copies in 1 month. In Australia. I was like, is that good? He's like, put it this way, the other bands on the label, their record's been out for 2 years, they've sold 3,000 copies. And this is before we had a manager, before we had a record deal, before we were on any radio station, before anyone was even playing our music. 20,000 copies. Literally just like people, it's just like this little EP with Dimension, Woman, White Unicorn, Apple Tree, and yeah, 20,000 copies in 1 month. The other thing that we noticed around then when we were playing like 500 to 1,000 capacity venues was like the same people were coming to like 5 shows. You know what I mean? You'd be like, you're at the last show, like, aren't you getting sick of us? It's like, they come to the next show, then they come to the next show, then they come to the next show, and I think it really, it confuses managers and record label and all these people, because they're used to having these artists that like have one single and are on TV for one thing, and then they have this single hit thing, and then they play this, and then they just. But with Wolfmother, the way it started from the ground up, it really confused them.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I think it's like so impressive that first album is this something important for you, like peaking charts numbers?
Well, you know where we played last night? We played in Zurich, in Switzerland, which I looked up, just by chance, I looked up last night. This record charted #5. Our highest chart position, I think, in the world was in Switzerland, where we played last night.
For good musical taste, I think. I think in Germany, like the new album, Victorious, peaked somewhere in the top 10. So apparently, Germany...
Thank you, Germany. Thank you very much. Dankeschön.
We love it. We love it. It's well, people are like not afraid to like have a good time and and enjoy themselves, you know. So I think that really appeals to the band. You know, the energy, the spirit of this music is about just letting yourself go and enjoying yourself, and I think German people seem to like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show we did in Cologne a couple of weeks ago, it was absolute like insanity. It was amazing. I'd never seen that much energy in one room, like, but I was a part of anyway. You know, like it was just crazy. People were like climbing on top of each other, making like a human ladder and separate mosh pits, and just going absolutely ballistic. Yeah. It was like
last night. Before the interview, this interviewer was like, "Oh, you know, there's a lot of hipsters in Zurich, so they're kind of like really snobby, and they'll like cross their arms and like watch it and kind of make their own." I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay, really?" And then, like, you walk out there, just like moshing crazy people, having fun. So like, I think we transcend all the BS that people try to tell you that, you know, they try to tell you this and they tell you that and they segment this and they segment that, but really people don't have enough time to kind of find all these reasons to like intellectualize or, you know, worry about it. They just, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad, and it doesn't matter how you present it. So that's my main approach, I think.
I think the last time I saw you was 4 years ago at the Southside Festival in Germany, like very south, obviously Southside Festival. Yeah. And I think it was a pretty amazing lineup with Eagles of Death Metal and such playing before you played. Yeah. And like pretty amazing lineup. And I think it was like crazy because it was so many people out there at a festival. Do you love playing at festivals better, or do you love playing in hot like little clubs and such?
Oh, why not have both? Just enjoy both of them. They both offer something different, you know. You can't get that vibe at a festival when you play in an intimate club, and you can't get that massive, you know, larger than life feeling at a festival. I mean, then at a festival. So,
you know, like, who cares? Like, who cares if it's a festival or if it's a park or if it's a street or if it's in a frickin' shed? It's just a bunch of people who want to see music. It's like could be Woodstock, could be frickin'. It's like just, you know, it could be could be on your back veranda, as long as you're just connecting with people.
Yeah. I think it's very like I DJ myself, and every time I DJ, I usually pick out woman because I love women. And it's like crazy because people are still getting mental at that song. It's like the whole dance floor is like, oh my god, woman, you know? It's like, do you like that song still, or is it like, oh fuck, I can't hear it anymore?
I love that song even more every day. Like the more I remember. Look, I mean, when I first came up with that riff, and the song first happened, like everyone in this band was like, "Yeah, Woman's good, but what do you think of Where Eagles Have Been? What do you think?" Like everyone wanted to like kind of push it to side because it was like. Because it's like the Mona Lisa of Wolfmother, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a masterpiece. Yeah. And like, I try, you know, everyone tries to push it aside. But even the other day, you know, my girlfriend plays guitar and she's like, how do you play Woman? And I was like, I'll show you how to play it. And then when she learned how to play it, she's like, oh, this is like, it's a good riff. And there's lots of very simple things about it that you like, what can I say? There's lots of simple things about it that, like, because it goes like this, it goes, dun, 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 like that. Like, it's a good, like, rhythm. And some people go, when they first learn Woman, they go, dun, 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 dun. That's like, I think, there's something about the strumminess of it and that groove that works. And when I listen to heaps of other riffs that other people have written, it's too fiddly and it's too stop-startish and it's too complicated. So I'm really proud of that riff because it's not often that you come up with a timeless, classic riff that sounds as good as it does today as it did 10 years ago, you know? So I don't knock it. I don't go, oh, I'm sick of that song, oh, yeah. No way, every time it's like, wow, this is cool, it's powerful. And you can play it anywhere. You can play it in a good sound system, in a crappy room, in a big room at a festival. You can play it in, you know, where are we now? We're in Munich. You can play it in Sydney. You can play it in New York. You can play it in Dubai. You can play it in Kathmandu, and like people lose it every night. So I think it's like, it's one of our, like, it's a blessing, you know. It's like, it's yeah, and hopefully one day I'll come up with something as good, if not better.
I think the new album is pretty fucking amazing. I particularly love Victorious. The song is like a power anthem. Do you have a special thing about the album you like best, or a favorite or something?
Best favorite song?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm drawn to Gypsy Caravan for its atmosphere and the imagery. You can just transport yourself to in that song. You know, it's very hypnotic.
Yeah, I like Gypsy Caravan too, because it's kind of like mid-tempo, easy-going, groovy kind of road trip and Gypsy Caravan and yeah, so it feels nice to play it. Yeah, I'd agree.
But it also has a middle eight section that you just rock out to, and it goes dun, 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 so it sort of offers the best of both worlds, I think. Yeah,
that's what I like. I mean, I think a lot of Wolfmother songs have about 5 ideas, or at least 3 or 4 or 5 ideas put together into one song. And yeah, Gypsy Caravan's got that. You got a bunch of ideas where you know, like you write a song. Like when I wrote that, I wrote that song Gypsy Caravan with a guy called Cram. Like we just went down and he got on the drums and he was like do 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 do, and we were like, that's cool, that's cool. And then after he left, I was like, what if you put this bit in, like the chorus? And that's what I do to songs. Like I just chop it up and put more and more and more parts into it. And then we left it like that for about 6 months, and then we went to LA, and then Brendan O'Brien was like, why don't you put in another part on the chorus, and why don't you come up with another middle eight? And then I came dun 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 dun. I came up with these other bits, like yeah, and then we're dinga 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 dinga, like all these different bits. So I just keep adding more and more and more and more. And you know, when I work with people, they kind of go, oh, that's good, let's do another song. I'm like, yeah, but let's change this one 10 times and chop it up before we get to the, you know what I mean? So sometimes people get really confused, or other times they go, you know what I mean? You got to keep an open mind whilst you're writing a song. And the same thing happened with Woman. it was like, it went doom 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 doom. We played that for about a week, and then I was like, why don't we add in another bit? The bit goes diddle-a-doom, 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 diddle-a-doom. And then you just keep adding in. It's like, almost like I get bored with it after a week, and then I go, this needs more, needs more, needs more, needs more.
So how long did it take you to get that album together?
Which one? Oh, the latest one?
Yeah, Victoria's.
It took about... Well, there's lots of little different sessions. There was like... Towards the end of New Crown, like, I mean, Ian will remember this, we went through City Lights once, hey? Went through once in like probably November. Then in January, I went in and wrote about, I don't know, maybe 10 songs, and then I went down to, because I got a bit bored of being in my own studio, so I caught a plane down to Sydney, and I went to this, I just called management, I said, get me a studio, get me like a pepperoni pizza, pepperoni pizza and a 6-pack, and I want to go into a studio, and that's how I wrote, what's it called, Happy Face. I went in there at like 10 o'clock at night and left at about 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's when I wrote that, and I played the drums and did everything. And so it was like interspersed, and then there were a couple more that I wrote. Oh, actually I wrote a song during our tour of 2014 with a guy called Tiger in Berlin from a band called Cadaver.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Went into into their rehearsal space and wrote that song in about 3 or 4 hours, and he engineered it. It's not on this record, but he did a really good job. He was.
Will you release it sometime?
Well, this is where it's available as a bonus track on Best Buy in America.
Wow. Well, thank you very much.
That's it. That's it. I said to management, I'm like, how are people going to get Wedding and Remove Your Mask? Oh, it'll be a bonus track in Best Buy in America. I'm like, yeah, what about frickin' Europe? What about Australia? I mean, it's like we sold 25,000 tickets on our headline tour in America. We come over here to Europe, we sold 45,000 tickets. It's twice as big. And they're like, and they'd come up with these campaigns where they don't even sell the music to everyone here. They don't even think, it's like, and we're charting at top 10, we're number 5, and it's so short-sighted and narrow-minded, aren't they?
So how to change it? We need that track in Europe.
I send emails every day. It's like, every day is like a battle. Can we make a video? Can we do this? Can we do that? And oh, no, people aren't doing this anymore. It's just like a constant battle every day. When I put out my solo record, you wouldn't believe it. There were like 16 songs, and they're like, we need to do 3 bonus tracks for Spotify, and then we need to put 2 bonus tracks for like Sanity, and then we do one. Then if you do one for Sanity, then iTunes wants an acoustic bonus track. It's like all these frickin' people want something special. They want something extra for Spotify, for iTunes, for Best Buy, for this thing. And it's just like, we've made a record, just put it out. Who cares? Just put it out. Stuff all this extra bonus crap. Let people enjoy your music. All you want to do, all you are is a distributor. Get over yourself. If you don't distribute music to people and make it easy, then in 5 years, you'll be gone. You know what I mean? iTunes they reduce because they come up with all these things and they stop this, and then Best Buy does this, and then all of them, they just need to like get a grip and know that they are just distributors for people, for music to get to people. Make it easy and like stop stuffing around.
But it's good to have you here now. Well, like rant over, because you're gonna distribute music to us tonight without any restriction. I hope so. Back to fun things about your hair. I love your hair, both hair. Like, how much time do you put into it?
I love your hair too.
Yeah. I think you could pull it off, right?
I used to wish I had straight. I straightened my hair when I was about 15, and I bought all this like peroxide stuff. And it just ripped all the moisture out of it and just turned into this frizzed out, like, so I ended up shaving it off, but I tried to have straight hair. Actually, when I was like, probably 13 or something, I trimmed off like hair from my actual hair, stuck on like John Lennon's sideburns, and wore like these round glasses, and like tried to make my hair straight. And I went to school like trying to trying to pretend that I was John Lennon for about 3 days.
3 days? Like a short John Lennon phase, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you have a John Lennon phase?
Not aesthetically, no. Musically, yes.
Yeah, music.
But yeah.
And you never get over John Lennon, I think. No,
Yeah.
ever.
Well, I
never.
had a Jim Morrison phase as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was so into Jim Morrison. That was probably when I was about 15. I saw the Doors movie, and it was the first time I ever felt a woman's breast.
What? You watched a film with a...
I asked this girl out on a date.
You lost your virginity at the Doors film.
No, I didn't get that far. But like, we went to the Doors movie, and I like put my arm around her like this, and then she got her hand, and she was like, she put it, and I was like, no way. And then like from then I was like, tight jeans, wearing the beads. I was like, I just wanted to be Jim Morrison. I used to like, before I went to sleep at night, I used to like try and do stream of consciousness, like writing. Have you ever tried that?
No, I haven't, no. But...
It's where if you like kind of, when you're falling asleep.
Oh, it's like lucid dreaming or something?
Yeah. Pick up a pen, just like write something and just go, Munich trees, bicycles, you know, abandoned bus, sitting inside a warehouse, blah, 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 and just try and put on like the Jim Morrison voice and think, and bang, it happens. Then you start writing this like amazing poetry and lyricism.
So it did work.
Yeah.
Nice to hear. A second Jim Morrison here. Oh wait, so yeah, I think you could be a Jim Morrison too. Like,
Yeah.
Did you ever try a string of consciousness?
I have not, but like the more I hear this, you talking about it, the more I want to give it a go. I'll take my notepad to the bunk after the show tonight, and as I'm going to sleep, I'll give it a go.
Well, it's whatever. That's what spoke to me. That's what inspired me. You know, whatever inspires you. You know, like I mean, it could be, man. Some people. That's what they say. The greatest gift an artist can give is to inspire other people. So that spoke to me, you know, because I was 14, I met a girl, I went to a movie, I was there, it was cool. For me, it was more fun than like playing soccer, because what I was doing was hanging out with other dudes playing soccer. And I got sick of hanging out with dudes getting yelled at it all day. I'd much rather listen to the Doors and see movies with young hippie girls and write stream. You know, it's just, that's your adolescence, you know. That was the stage that I went through. But for other kids, you know, who knows? Who knows what people get into or what they get inspired, you know. There's like people playing freaking video games, filming themselves playing video games who get watched by hundreds of millions of people, and that's what they want to do. But that, for, you know, I guess, you know, it's not like everyone wants to do stream of consciousness. Some people might think I'm a freaking, that's the most boring thing you could ever want to do.
But, you know, you've taken that approach at times with songwriting. You're jamming, you just say whatever comes to mine, and then you kind of tailor the song around that, and it's a good inspiration for the song, you know?
Yeah, that's how, so maybe I learnt that from Jim Morrison, you know?
Well, thank God for Jim Morrison. Thank you for talking to us. It was so nice.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us on the show.
Rock Antenne. 100% Rock. Nonstop.
Na, das war doch jetzt ein super Interview, das ihr bestimmt gerne angeschaut habt mit tollen Menschen. Und falls ihr noch mehr Interviews mit unseren Rockstars sehen wollt, dann abonniert unseren YouTube-Kanal und klickt einmal hier für weitere Interviews. Oder wenn ihr wissen wollt, wie man die Songs der Rockstars spielt, dann einmal hier unten klicken. Da gibt es zum Beispiel auch eine School of Rock für Victorious von Wolfmother. Viel Spaß! Jetzt habe ich... Also du musst die letzten 5 Sekunden dann noch mitmachen. Nein, das